The last flight of L-8. I am Lieutenant Ernest Cody, United States Navy. On the morning of August 16, 1942, I took off from Treasure Island with my fellow officer, Ensign Charles Adams. Our mission, a routine patrol along the coast of San Francisco, searching for Japanese submarines. It should have been an ordinary day, but what happened aboard our airship, the L-8, has since become one of the most enduring mysteries of World War II. At 6 a.m., we rose into the sky, passing over the Golden Gate Bridge. The Pacific stretched endlessly below, veiled in the pale mist of dawn. Charles grinned. A fine day to hunt submarines, isn't it, Ernest?
I have to confess, Ernest.
I nodded. We had done this countless times before. Neither of us knew this would be the last time we would ever see the mainland with our own eyes. 7:38 a.m. We reported our position to base. Minutes later, Charles pointed down. A long, black oil slick spread across the waves. My heart quenched. A submarine? I picked up the radio. L-8 to headquarters. Oil slick sighted. Commencing investigation. Those were the last words headquarters ever received from us. At 7:42, we dropped 2 smoke flares to mark the spot. From above, I saw the crew of the fishing trawler Daisy Gray pulling in their nets, eyes fixed on us. They too must have thought we were about to strike an enemy sub. But the sea remained silent. No periscope, no rising hull. Only the stench of oil, thick in the air. For more than an hour we circled, descending lower, until at times we skimmed only a few dozen feet above the waves. Charles leaned out of the gondola door, gripping the loudspeaker. His voice boomed down toward the water. Is anyone down there? Respond. But there was nothing but rolling waves and the shadows of sharks circling below. Then the radio began to hiss. A strange, warping static, as though something unseen was jamming our transmission. The compass needle quivered wildly, spinning without direction. Charles turned to me, uneasy. Something isn't right, Ernest. It feels like we're sitting on the edge of something. Then it happened. I remember the engines groaning as if strained by some unseen hand. Charles stepped closer to the open hatch, peering down. And then, he was gone. Not a stumble. Not a simple fall. It was as if he was pulled out, sucked into the mist. I lunged forward, but there was nothing. Only fog, churning thick and heavy, swallowing him whole. I screamed his name. The sea gave no answer. I staggered back to the controls, but the blimp no longer obeyed me. Suddenly, it shot upward, climbing through the cloud layer, faster than I had ever felt. My ears rang from the pressure. My chest tightened until I could barely breathe. The fuel gauge plummeted. Somehow, more than half our fuel had been dumped. The L-8 was light as a balloon, soaring uncontrollably. Later I would hear what people claimed they saw. Some said they watched us cross over the Golden Gate Bridge, flying normally, as though nothing were wrong. A Navy pilot reported seeing the L-8 climb straight into the clouds, vanishing at nearly 2,000 feet. Onlookers swore they saw figures moving inside the gondola. Not just 2, but 3. A boy near a golf course claimed he saw a parachute unfurl from the drifting blimp. So who was in the gondola that day? Just Charles and me, or someone else? My final memory is of the blimp sagging, its helium bag crumpled like a dying leaf. We drifted inland. Roofs flashed beneath us. Power lines sparked. Then a violent crash. Darkness. When I woke, I was no longer there. Not in the gondola. Not in California. Not in 1942. I was elsewhere. A place of endless static and dim echoes, as if trapped between radio frequencies. A place outside time. If you read these words, know this. The L-8 was not merely a blimp that drifted empty into Daly City. It was a doorway, a threshold between our world and something else. Perhaps Charles was the first to cross. Perhaps I followed. Some say we fell into the sea, torn apart by sharks. Some insist we were taken by a Japanese submarine. Others whisper that we deserted. But I know the truth runs deeper. We stepped beyond an invisible boundary. And once you cross that line, there is no coming back.